Hello and welcome back to another Disneyland Hotel Diary. Today, we are taking a really close look at a hotel that pops up on pretty much everyone's radar when they're trying to do Disney on a budget, the America's Best Value Astoria Inn and Suites. We're going to sift through the reviews, the good, the bad, and the ugly photos to figure out if this is the spot for your next magical vacation. You know how it is. You're planning that dream trip, you've got the park tickets in your cart, and then reality hits. Where are you actually going to stay? Finding a place that's close to the parks without completely destroying your wallet can honestly be the most stressful part of the whole thing. And then you see this number, around $109 a night. For a hotel you can walk from, that is an eye-poppingly good deal. It's what gets the Astoria on the shortlist for so many families. But the big question is, what are you really getting for that price?
All right, first things first, let's talk about what is, without a doubt, this hotel's biggest selling point. We're not talking about fancy pools or room service here. For a Disneyland trip, the number one thing is location, location, location.
And this right here, this is a total game changer. A 10 to 15-minute walk means no dealing with crowded shuttle buses, no forking over $30 a day for parking, and you get the ultimate luxury, heading back to the room for a midday nap while everyone else is melting in the afternoon sun. That flexibility is huge.
And look, don't just take my word for it. This is what you see over and over again in the reviews from actual guests. This person sums it up perfectly. The walk is ideal. So when it comes to location, the Astoria Inn is an absolute, undeniable win.
Okay, so the location is a home run. We've established that. But that's only half the story, isn't it? What about the room itself? You know, the place you're supposed to crash after walking 10 miles in the park. Is it a comfortable retreat, or is it something else? So you're scrolling the reviews, and you see this. Top-notch clean. Very large rooms. You start to think, okay, great, what a find. This is exactly the kind of feedback that gives you the confidence to hit that Book Now button. And this is probably the picture you'll see on the booking site. And I mean, it looks perfectly fine, right? It's a standard hotel room, it's got 2 beds, a place to put your stuff, it looks clean. For someone who's just going to be sleeping there, this seems totally acceptable. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Here's where things get a little tricky. The professional photos don't always show you the full picture. For that, you have to dig into the photos that travelers, people just like you, have uploaded. And whoa, this is the reality check. This is the gamble you're taking. On the left, you see a faucet that's seen much better days, all worn and stained. And on the right, well, that's a cockroach. These are the pictures that show the other side of the story, and they raise the biggest question of all. Which room are you going to get? So we've got this real Jekyll and Hyde situation, don't we? A fantastic, can't-be-beat location, but with some potentially serious issues with the rooms. Let's really break it down now and weigh the perks against the, well, let's call them quirks. You know, the hotel's own review scores tell this story perfectly. Just look at this. Value and location, they score really high, a 3.9 and a 3.8. But then, see how the numbers start to dip for cleanliness and the rooms themselves? The data literally backs up what everyone is saying. So let's talk about the good stuff, the perks, and they're pretty solid. Free parking in Anaheim is a huge deal. That can save you a ton of money. We've already gushed about the location. You get free Wi-Fi, there's an outdoor pool, and one other really neat little bonus. That's right. You can actually see the Disneyland fireworks right from the hotel's balcony. It's like a free, private show without having to fight the massive crowds on Main Street. That's a pretty magical way to end the day. But now we have to look at the other side of the coin, the quirks, and they're not small. The cleanliness, as we've seen, can be a real roll of the dice. The quality from room to room is inconsistent. A lot of the fixtures are dated and worn. This is a very, very basic no-frills experience. By the way, if you're finding this deep dive helpful, please take a quick second to subscribe and like this explainer. It really helps the channel out a ton and lets us keep making more of these for you. All right, let's bring it all together. We've seen the awesome price, the unbeatable location, and the potential pitfalls. So what's the final verdict here? Should you book the Astoria Inn? Well, to answer that, you have to know what kind of traveler you are, and this hotel seems specifically designed for one type of person, what I call the park goer. This is someone who's up at the crack of dawn for rope drop and doesn't get back till the park closes. They literally just need a safe place to sleep and shower. Location and price are everything. Luxury is not even on the list. So let's make it super clear.
Who should stay here? The hardcore park goer. Families who are stretching every dollar to make the magic happen. Even people in town for a convention. But who should avoid this place? If you're sensitive to cleanliness, if the thought of that roach picture makes your skin crawl, or if you want the hotel to be part of the vacation experience, this probably isn't the one for you.
I think this review just says it all. The Astoria is nothing fancy by any stretch. It's not trying to be. It's a tool. It's a place that will get the job done. And for a lot of people who just want a cheap bed close to Disneyland, getting the job done is more than enough.
So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one question. Is saving what could be a few $100s on your trip worth the risk that you might get one of those bad rooms? You know the best-case scenario, and you've seen the worst. The trade-off is clear, and only you can decide if that's a gamble you're willing to take. Thanks so much for joining me.